Hi, welcome to Tombow. I am Brittany Louise, and today I am going to show you a couple of quick ways to turn your hand lettering into vectors using Adobe Illustrator and the Adobe Capture app. So, to get started, you're going to want to hand letter something. So, I have a sheet of Canson marker paper here. Ooh, that's bright. All right, yeah, Canson marker paper. And then I have a Tombow dual brush pen. You do not have to use black for this, but you are going to get better results if you use a darker color. So I'm going to letter real quick, and I'm just going to letter the word hello. So as I'm lettering, I'm putting very little pressure on my upstroke and a lot of pressure on my downstroke. I'm also holding my pen roughly at a 45-degree angle, and you'll notice that I do pick up and reposition the pen quite often. Don't be afraid to do this when you're lettering. It does not have to be one long string of letters without picking up your pen. Okay, so I have the word hello hand lettered using my dual brush pen. The next thing that you need to do is open up your phone, and you'll want to grab the Adobe Capture app. So I'm going to open this app right now. The first time you open it, you'll have a few different options. This one is actually giving me a different option than I normally have, but you'll want to navigate over to Shapes, and then you'll click the plus sign. And this is where you're going to vectorize your lettering. So you grab this slider, just pull it over, and you can see that the letters are becoming green. So everything that is green is what is going to be digitized. So I pull it all the way over, and then I start to pull back. So that is where I want it. That's the sweet spot. So then I click this green button down here. Okay, and so it takes a second, and then everything that you see in black is what's going to be vectorized. If you have a few different words on your page, or maybe you have some specks of dust or whatever, it might pick that up. If it does, all you have to do is run your finger over, and it'll deselect what you don't want. But I do actually want this, so I'm just going to click back to select and run my finger over. So then the next step is to click next and watch it do its magic. All right, it's ready to go. Click next again. And then you have the option to name your shape. So you can click on there, and I'll just call this hello, and then save shape. And then you have it. So the next step is going to be on your computer. So I will join you back on my computer in just a moment. Okay, so now I am up on my computer screen, and I am opening Adobe Illustrator. So I'm going to give it a second to load up. This is what the Creative Cloud version looks like. All right, so I am all loaded up now, and I'm going to open a new file, get rid of this window, and go up to File, New, and then I have a pre-saved template for Instagram that I'm going to use. It is a square template, and I go over to my Libraries panel and scroll down, and then you will see that vectorized lettering right there, and I just grab it and pull it onto my artboard. And this one actually vectorized really well. I'm going to start by ungrouping So you can see that now these are in two groups. So next, what I'm going to do is add some rulers. So by doing that, I just hit Command R, and you see up at the top I've got rulers now, and I have zoomed in, and I'm just taking a quicker look, closer look at these letters, and I'm looking for any imperfections, any wobbly looking lines or angles that I don't like. And right here in this O, I'm finding an angle that I don't really like right there on the left. So I'm going over to my smooth tool, which is nested underneath the pencil tool, and I'm just clicking and dragging, at those anchor points. So I'm just doing this until I like the way that it looks. And this one isn't moving the way that I really want it to, so I'm going to use my direct selection tool and grab that anchor point and kind of pull it a little bit, and then I'm going to grab that handle and pull that a little, and now I'm going to select again and grab my smooth tool and go over it just one more time. Yes. Okay, now I'm really liking the way that looks, but I don't like this angle here at the end of the O. So I'm just going to nudge that with the smooth tool, and now it's a little softer and it's a little more round. So I'm really liking the way that this looks, and just selecting, kind of looking at those anchor points. I don't think I want to do anything else to this with the smooth tool. I really like the way that it looks, but you see here that the H is kind of apart from the rest of the word. So I just grab it and hold down my shift tool and move it over so that that tail of the H kind of gets hidden in the E. And then I go up to the top and I grab down a guide, and I'm going to use that guide to make sure that my words are straight. So I want the left part of this H to hit that guide, so I'm kind of rotating it, and now I'm just nudging it down a little bit, and I kind of think that now that H needs to be nudged over to the left just a little, and I really like the way that looks. So I'm getting rid of my guide, and now I'm going to select everything and make it all one item. So to do that, you go to your Pathfinder, which I have over here, or you can go to Window and then make sure that Pathfinder is checked, and you'll want to use the Unite option. So click that, and now this is just one piece instead of two separate pieces. And what I'm going to do next is just move it to the middle of my artboard. I'm going to use the shape tool to create a background. I'll just make it pink, and then I'm going to send that background to the back. So I go right click, arrange, send to back, and then I have my hello in front, and now I think I want that white, so I'm going to use white, and then we are good to go. So next I'm going to show you how you can do this with a scanned image. So to do that, you're going to want to scan your image in at the highest possible quality that you can. The scanner that I have will scan in at 600 DPI. So I'm going to show you how you can use the scanned image. So give me just a second and I'm going to do that. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to digitize something that you have scanned. So here I have my email with the scan, and I'm going to drag it into Photoshop up to image and rotate counterclockwise. Then I am going to crop this so that I get rid of that excess white space. Now I'm zooming in. Okay, and I'm going up to mode, and I'm going to change to grayscale, click OK, and then I'm going to change it to RGB because I'm using this for something digitally. And then under adjustments, I'm going to the levels adjustment, and I'm just going to pull this slider to the right, and I want to try to get the letters as dark as possible because remember, we lettered them actually in blue,
not black, so there are some light spots in here. So I'm going to select everything and copy it, and then move over to Illustrator and grab a new artboard, and then I'm going to paste into Illustrator. Now I'm going to zoom in and click, and you'll see this image trace option pop up. So you'll click the image trace and wait for a second while it does its thing, and then it has traced your image, and so you have a tracing result. I don't really like this result, so I click that little icon up at the top and I move the threshold bar over to the right and kind of see what that does. Move the paths bar over to the right. And so with this one, because there were light spaces, you're just going to have a little bit of a distressed look. And so I'm just going to go with it. And I'm going to click expand. And so now it is digitized, but I have this white background that I want to get rid of. So I use the magic wand tool, and then I click in that white background and I hit the delete button. So now all I have are my letters, my digitized letters. So next, I am just going to get rid of this little straggler over here on the O, and I could go through and use the smooth tool, but instead I am just going to grab the eraser tool, and I'm just going to get rid of this little part here on the end that's kind of off by itself, and I'm just going to go with the fact that this has kind of a distressed look, which is different than the one that I did before using the Capture app. So now I am just making this big and fill up my whole artboard, and I'm moving it around a little bit, and I'm actually going to use these controls at the top to horizontally align center so that I know that this is exactly in the center. Then I'll use my rectangle tool again to create a rectangle so that there's a colored background. I'll use blue for this one, and then I'm going to send that rectangle into the back. So arrange, send to back, and then I have my lettering, and I'm just going to make it white, and there you go. It's a very different style. This one is pretty cool. It's a little distressed. So to save your, there we go. Okay, so to save, you're going to go File, Save for Web, and then I keep everything the same. Click Save. Choose where you want to save your file, and then you'll want to name your file. I'll call this hello-digitized, if I can spell it correctly, and then click Save. And I'll minimize everything, close out of my email, and show you guys that it is saved on my desktop and it's ready to go. Thanks so much for watching, you guys.